Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome, Marvin. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me once again. Thank you to my replay viewers. Thank you to my lifers. And thank you to everyone who is joining for the first time as well. If you are new, I would love for you to introduce yourself. Let me know what your name is. And thank you, Miracles, for sharing on Twitter. I also invite you all to swipe to the right and share. Sharing is caring. And thank you for everyone giving me hearts tonight. So my name is Dianese. I am the owner of Sexuality Power, and I am committed to, thank you, Miracles. I am committed to supporting individuals and couples to really fulfill their lives, have a life of purpose, of passion, and expression in their sexuality. So that is what I do, and I am honored to be here every night with you, sharing a little bit about myself, some information, and really putting out information and content that I feel is, challenging some of the norms and pushing us beyond our limits. So tonight's topic came about from my haircut. So for all of you who are new, this is not how my hair used to look yesterday. I got a haircut today and I'm super excited about it. I'll give you guys a little look-see on the haircut. And one of the first comments I got, and it came actually from my sister, was that she didn't like it, that I was just following a fashion trend, and that I looked butch. And I really want to just talk a little bit about, in the world of sexuality, how do stereotypes come up? And the most common form of stereotyping is around our sexuality, right? So often people might assume if you are a feminine male, that you are gay. Same as, if you're a masculine woman, or if you dress a certain way, you're automatically pegged as a lesbian. And nowadays, it's gotten to an extreme level where even a haircut, right, can say certain things about who you are or what your sexuality is, right? So I kind of just wanted to talk about that and also get to know what are some of the stereotypes that you all might be facing in your daily lives, and how do you tackle those? I know I often face stereotyping, as a Latina, as a woman of color. There's always stereotyping out there, and it's sometimes subliminal and microaggressions, and sometimes it's more, in your face, like what my sister said, like, she basically was like, you look like a butch. And a butch, for those of you who might not know some of the terminology, is a slang term, or I would say a slang term for a very masculine appearing lesbian. So for me, when I think of all of these stereotyping that happens, what I really come to is that we often in our society want to label people. We often want to put people in a box. And it's like, this is the box that I created for you, and if you don't fit into this box, then I'm confused, right? Like, who are you? What are you? I have to know the answer. And that often doesn't serve us. It doesn't allow us to really honor who someone is and let people self-identify, right? There is, the term is used, oh, my gaydar went off, and gaydar, like a radar, you can detect who's gay and who's not gay, or who's queer or bi or trans. And these are just honestly forms of making assumptions. It's really making an assumption about someone, because even if someone, engages in relationship with someone of the same gender, it doesn't mean that they're gay. It doesn't, that's a label that you choose to own. That's a category that you must self-identify into. It's not up to anyone to really identify you into that. And that's the biggest message that I wanted to share with you all today, is really allowing not only for yourself, but for other people to self-identify. To really put the stereotypes on pause and say, you know, who cares about the stereotype? Like, I want to know who you are for who you are, not for what boxes society has put on you, right? Or the labels or the stereotypes. So I want to open it up and ask, like, can anyone share any stereotypes that they've come up against? Or even, you know, are you having any like aha moments around maybe some areas in your life where you might have been stereotyping someone and not knowing, and this kind of gave you some insight into that. I do love when you guys are super interactive and ask questions, so I invite you all, if you have questions about stereotyping, do's and don'ts, please do ask and share. I love when you guys are, you know, exchanging that energy with me, because, you know, sometimes you come on scope and I know, you know, I've already been doing scopes for over a month and have over 100 out there, but every time it's like you want to feel the love from your audience. You want to know that they're hearing you, that it's resonating with them. So with other scopers, I've definitely had conversations about this. So, you know, with identity and stereotyping, stereotyping happens in so many ways. It happens around race, right? So, you know, racism is alive, it's out there, and it happens, you know, when someone's wearing a hoodie and all of a sudden they're getting stopped or pulled over because they appear to be one way or another, right? That's stereotyping. When you assume someone is automatically Mexican, if they're Latino, that's stereotyping, right? So these are small ways that, or if you even assume that someone who's Latino speaks Spanish, right? That's stereotyping. So all of these are small ways that we kind of peg people into certain boxes, and a lot of the time it blocks us from being able to connect with people. And that's what I'm all about, you know, really honoring who someone is and what their sexual expression is, what their identity is, whatever that means to them. What tips do you have to move away from this behavior? Yeah, so to kind of let it go, it's really a game of awareness, right? It's really not only awareness, but also educating yourself, right? So the fact that you guys are on here watching, you know, and hearing some of the stereotypes that are out there, that's one way. And also not always, you know, yes, Taisha, thank you, being curious and not always just, you know, buying what is being sold, right? Instead of assuming, you have to kind of just be like, oh, I wonder what's that person's sexual orientation. You know, I wonder what caused, you know, what inspired someone to cut their, like, shave half of their head off. You know, like, rather than automatically going into, you know, what the media tells us and what the media is selling, right? Because it definitely has a lot of influence. And I think that's where we can do the biggest work, is really challenging what we're being shown through the media. Challenging, you know, when we hear someone say something that is kind of a stereotype, being like, hey, that's actually a stereotype. And it's kind of making me uncomfortable that you're using it, right? or calling them out, like, hey, that's not cool, that's a stereotype. Like, not everyone who's you know, Latino is in a gang. So these are, I'm giving you some really big ones because there's some really small ones too, but these are stereotypes that have throughout the years, throughout film, theater, been portrayed, right? So it's really about knowing and learning that a lot of what we're sold through the media, you know, all Latinas are you know, sexy, you know, or all Latinas are really sexual. That's a huge stereotype. And it's one that has been very detrimental to our community. So all of these things is just raising our awareness and then helping others raise their awareness. Perpetuated in music and the media. Music, yeah, there's a lot of stereotyping that happens in music. You know, it's like, God forbid you meet someone, you know, a black woman, and she doesn't have like an anaconda butt, you know, like, because they're portrayed that that's how every black woman should look. And then that also has an influence on people's self-esteem, self-identity, you know, all of these ramifications. So it's really just watching what you consume and being critical of it, because so often we just let all of our guards down and freely consume and, you know, internalize it all, right? Take it in, take it for face value, make it part of our everyday, and next thing you know, we're perpetuating these stereotypes. And that's where we can really take action in stopping that cycle. So I hope that you all have enjoyed tonight's talk. I know I did. I hope that you all continue to join me every night at 9 o'clock for my Periscopes, and check out my Twitter as well as my Instagram. On all of the mediums, I am Sexuality Expert, and until tomorrow, I wish you a passionate evening. Love you. Bye.